Hello, Memorial basketball fans. I'm Charles Strayer.
And I'm Teddy Harless.
And it is coming to a close here. State approaches for both girls and boys. So let's get started with the girls who finished their sectional round.
Yeah, starting off with their game against Nina, they had an excellent game, a 20-point victory where Rhea Shaw severely impeded Klesmet. Klesmet only going 7 for 21 from the field. And Nora Kling had another phenomenal game with 26 points, going 10 for 14 from the field.
And that was a combination that we were hoping to see and that they definitely got right. The combination of Shaw being able to take Klesmet out of the equation as much as possible, she still put up a good number of points. But you can tell there were a lot of places, especially off the screen, where that help defense would come in and take away what is usually a shot that they're used to making. So that combined with Kling doing so well from the field, being able to get into the interior effectively with some quick strikes, made for a very enjoyable sectional semifinal and a very convincing win.
Yeah, and that just combined with our winning mentality from the jump and our ability to out-physical them. We won 34-10 on points in the paint, and that came from domination from Rayna Welsch, and as we mentioned, Nora Kling with her 26 points, a lot of which coming from within that painted area, and just the strong help defense that you mentioned as well.
Yeah, and you see it with Rayna Welsch. Just about every game she touches the court in, she draws a lot of attention. You can tell the game plan from Nina going into that one was make sure Welsch doesn't get a lot of freebies. And to their credit, she did not. But in doing that, drawing a double, triple team in that interior, in the paint, the zone very much favoring wherever Rayna was. As a result, we were able to find ways to score from other areas on that side of the court, and a great win was the result.
Yeah, it was a fantastic win to see. Unfortunately, though, moving on to the next round, we were not able to pull away the win in what was a double overtime heartbreaking loss for the girls basketball. But in the end, they fought to the very end. They put up a great fight. They were down 12 in the second and were able to get a comeback to force double overtime, in large part due to Lydia Palmier's three-pointer in overtime, or to get us into overtime, and Rayna Welsch's 20 points and 11 rebounds. They were a really tough opponent. We put up a fantastic fight, and this is definitely a season to be proud of for these girls.
Absolutely, and you never want to see it end at all, but honestly, if they were ever to get eliminated at one point, this was the fight to take to Appleton East, particularly considering our overtime loss to them in the regular season. It was a tenacious effort on both sides. Appleton East gave it all they had, and they were giving us a run for their money. They were playing at 100% and then some. But our ability to turn the page when it came to getting down by double digits in that second half, we entered the second half down 5. They were able to extend that lead quickly. But the ability to get that into overtime and to keep pushing, keep fighting into that second overtime period, getting down to the wire on that last possession, Appleton East was a formidable opponent. And it really puts into perspective simply how dominant this team has been over the course of the 2024-25 season. That was no slouch of an opponent that we fell to in the sectional finals, no doubt. And the season totals speak for themselves. We'll get into that in a future video, but for now, it still very much stings, but they left it all on the court.
Yeah, just a fantastic season for these girls. They have nothing to be ashamed of. They played phenomenally, and they should be very proud of themselves.
And moving on to the boys now, who, as they're a week behind, they're now entering the sectional round. Much like the girls, they had a regional round to be proud of.
Yeah, for sure. They had 2 dominating victories. Against North, they led every non-zero stat category except for turnovers. Cooper Jesperson got 20 points, 4 for 6 from 3. Julius Clark, 14 points, 6 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 on threes. And Besson Only Besson managed double digits in that game.
And going into it, the whole mentality that we were talking about, just play it like any other game, play it like the other two games we played against North, and that was beautifully executed. Really, no notes. Everybody was hitting on all four cylinders, and it was a team that we knew we could beat. We had beaten them before, and there was no chance of a trap game. From the opening minutes, there was no question of who the more dominant Eau Claire team was going to be in that contest.
Yeah, but to sort of counter that example, in the game against Wausau West, we got off to a little bit of a slow start.
Concerningly, yes.
It started off 5-11, but we were able to rally and go on a 23-3 run to end the half, kicked off by Jesperson's fantastic three-pointer. But the real star of that game, I think, was Wes Mboga, who got 18 points and went 7-for-11 from the field. And on a general team level, we did an excellent job rebounding, where we got 34 rebounds compared to just their 20.
And the ability to sustain the possessions, especially when things weren't exactly going our way, and it was a very strange experience to view. There was a bit of an alarming whiplash because opening it up, the Warriors seemed to have our number, particularly in the interior, in the paint. They were able to operate very easily in those opening possessions. And then to see the sheer change of fortune for the Warriors as the Old Abes defense suddenly was allowing nothing, absolutely nothing in the paint in the progressing minutes of that first half was, well, a little bit of a challenging experience to get caught up with, but absolutely what we were looking for. They were given a bit of a fright there in the opening minutes, but for the vast majority of the game, it was fully in control. So an excellent effort on the Abes to recognize the Warriors putting up a good fight, but being able to make some adjustments on the court, start hitting those shots and sustaining the possessions all the way to a large victory.
Yeah, but coming up in this game against Marshfield, I'd like to see us avoid that slow start if at all possible. We saw it in that last playoff round. We saw it the last time we played Marshfield, where they got off to a 17-0 run to start the game. Marshfield did, and we just never really could come back from that because Marshfield is a very good team. When we're going up against Marshfield, we need to make sure that we start off firing out of the gate because we probably won't be able to lock down on that defensive side the way we could against Wausau West because Marshfield is just another caliber of team.
Yeah, I think you put it in a pretty concise way there. It's definitely going to be about keeping Marshfield within arm's reach at all times, especially in the start of that game. This is a team that can battle, and as you know, the season we've had, I think we can match that energy for sure, but it's going to come down to starting strong, and especially in the paint, we have got to have it on lock defensively. They were a pretty competent assisting team here when it came to playing us. Last time, they out-assisted us 17-9, and our ball movement has been especially snappy here in the last couple of games, so it was definitely a bit shocking to see a team that was able to kind of beat us at our own game in that regard. So if we keep those passing lanes tight in the paint, that is going to lead to success early on in the game and set the tone going down the stretch to hopefully ensure a victory in the sectional semi.
Yeah, and even though we had a big loss to them last time, I do think this is a game that is firmly within these boys' reach.
Oh, absolutely.
We had a chance to play them earlier. Now we come back with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more preparation. We've been expecting to see them pretty much since that game, and and I would guess we've been preparing ever since. It's a team that I think if we come out of the gate fast, we will have a chance to beat them.
Yeah, and more than a chance, I think that this is a team we can go neck and neck with for sure. You saw a dogfight against Spash to get them here. So Marshfield is going to be used to having a bit of a tougher time, and Spash definitely playing out of their tree there in the regional final, giving them a run for their money. So the fact that we've played them before, and like you were alluding to there, this is a team that does their homework. The boys are very well read. They understand their assignments sometimes better than the assignments themselves know it seems like. So having that knowledge is definitely going to be powerful coming into the sectional semifinal, and Marshfield might have another thing coming here if they think that the old Abes are going to have a similar outing to when we played them in the regular season.
For sure, and if we are able to get that win against Marshfield, we'll be moving on to Kimberly or Kaukauna in the next round, and we expect the team to win that matchup to be Kaukauna. That game will be coming up on Saturday, and I think there are two big players who we have to look out for and try and slow down. Number one is Keegan Van Cowenberg. He is an excellent player. He is 24.3 points per game. He's 47% from three, and he gets 5.5 assists a game, and he's good at shooting all around the court. He's almost at 50-40-90 shooting-wise. If it weren't for 4% on free throws, he'd be there. He is an excellent shooter from all levels of the court, and he's someone who we have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and you were talking about some big players for Kaukauna, and you know where I'm going with this. We are looking for an especially big player in Andrew Jensen, who is going to show up in all his wingspan. 6'9", 16.9 points per game, and he's averaging just shy of 11 rebounds a game. This is a guy that is going to provide an especially unique challenge. You don't get to play a guy this tall this often, no matter how many high caliber matchups you book. So somebody like Wesemboga, who's imposing in just about any setting, is going to be dwarfed by him just by matter of natural size. It's going to be about taking the aggression to him and playing like you're 7 feet tall, because he is not very many inches shy of that.
Yeah. I think we're also probably likely to see a lot of Ben Fesenmeyer in that game too. I think he'll be seeing maybe more minutes than he's used to, because we need size to match Andrew Jensen, and we need to be able to combat him defensively. So I expect to see maybe a little bit bigger of a rotation than we're used to, and it's going to be important that we are able to at least slow these two players down offensively.
Yeah, and Fesenmeyer can sometimes be a more understated facet of this Abes offensive and defensive scheme. But yeah, seeing him get a couple more minutes, it'll be a high-stakes opportunity, but a valuable one to see him put his size to the test, put his skills to the test, and really assume more of a leadership position in this game. It's nice to see the depth of the seniors we've got. We'll be able to flex a bit of, again, a larger package in terms of our defensive muscles coming up. They are the 1 seed for a reason, and led by Van Cowenberg and Jensen, they are going to be a tough challenge, but State awaits if we win, and if we can beat them, State is looking like it will be a very exciting opportunity for the old Abes.
Yeah, for sure. And just this week, we've got an exciting week of sectional basketball for the boys. It'll be exciting to watch no matter what, and make sure you guys stay tuned, and as always, go Abes.
Hi everybody, I'm Aidan Rickert, Eagle Eyes Other Guy. If you're interested in more MHS sports content, be sure to check out our TikTok, Instagram, and check out some of the other videos on our YouTube channel. And while you're at it, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more. Go Abes!